Max pricked up his ears when he heard unfamiliar sounds coming from behind the door. The 6-year-old golden retriever believed he was the sole ruler of this house. His parents' love, the best corner of the warm bed, the tastiest bones. It was all his right. When the door opened, tiny footsteps and a sweet giggle filled the hallway. Max peered out from his corner, curious. Standing before him was a 3-year-old girl in a pink jacket with big brown eyes. "Emma." "Max, come here. This is your new sister, Emma," his mother said cheerfully. Max's world was suddenly turned upside down. A new sister? Wasn't he already the baby of this family? He tucked his tail between his legs and slowly walked away. He didn't want this little human. Emma reached out to Max with innocent eyes. "Dog," she exclaimed happily. But Max grumbled sulkily and went to his room. The first day passed like this. Max rejected every attempt Emma made to approach him. Days passed. As Emma settled into her place at home, Max felt left out. The attention that had once been solely his was now divided. While Mom and Dad played with Emma, Max watched from his corner, filled with jealousy. One night he heard Emma crying. He slowly approached her room. The little girl was sobbing in her bed. "Mommy, Daddy, where are they?" she murmured. Max's heart ached. This tiny human was scared and lonely just like him. He quietly entered the room. He sniffed Emma, the scent of lavender soap and milk. Then he slowly lay down beside her. When Emma felt her warm, furry friend, her crying stopped. Her tiny hand stroked Max's head. That night, they slept together for the first time. The next morning, everything had changed. As soon as Emma woke up, she looked for Max and Max ran after her. At breakfast, Emma offered Max a spoonful of her muesli. Max had never tasted anything so sweet in his life. When Emma fell while playing in the garden, Max immediately ran to her side. He licked her wound and wiped away the little girl's tears. When Emma realized Max was sad, she hugged him tightly with her little arms. Months passed. Max and Emma were now inseparable. Max followed Emma's every step and kept watch beside her while she slept. Emma talked to Max and read books to him. Max seemed to understand every word. One day when Emma fell ill, Max never left her bedside. When her fever spiked, he whimpered anxiously. When she recovered, he wagged his tail. The day Emma first said, "Max," the big dog's eyes filled with tears. Years passed. As Max grew old, Emma grew up. Max couldn't run as fast anymore, but Emma always kept up with him. When he got tired, Emma brought him water and softened his old bones. In Max's final days, Emma never left his side. "My best friend," she whispered in his ear. Max took his last breath in Emma's arms. Emma grew up but never forgot Max. When she got a dog for her own child, she named it Max. Because she knew that the purest love begins with unconditional acceptance. Two hearts of different kinds but beating in the same language, the language of love. Max and Emma's story proves that every heart is ready for friendship. Sometimes all it takes is time and understanding. This story reminds us that true friendship knows no bounds, that love overcomes every obstacle. Like Max and Emma, there is a friendship waiting in all our hearts. We just need to know how to recognize it.
Mo, sit. Sit. Give Mo a fist bump. Fist bump. Good job.
Good job.
Mo, up here. Mo, go. Okay, good boy. Alright, he's not gonna keep doing that.
Jay, you're being a little bossy.
The first rays of morning light filtered through the curtains, casting a golden warmth throughout the house. In the living room, where beams of light danced, Max, whose brown eyes held all the innocence of the world, was pounding the wooden floor with his paws. The clicks with each step were the melody of the excitement in his heart. His little heart was so full of love that it seemed as if it would burst from his chest. Emma, the 7-year-old girl with the angelic face, braided her golden hair with the tenderness she felt in her mother's hands. Her tiny hands arranged the colorful blocks with such grace that it was as if she was putting a piece of her soul into each one. The sparkle in her eyes brought life to everything she created. Max couldn't hide his admiration for her. Emma was not just a child to him, she was the owner of his heart. With hours of patient effort, Emma slowly built the tower of her dreams. Each block was a piece of her hopes. Every movement of her little fingers was the beginning of her big dreams. As she placed the final block, the proud smile on her face shone as brightly as the sun itself. "Look, Max, this is my tallest tower," she exclaimed, her voice trembling with joy. Max's innocent heart had interpreted those words so differently. In his eyes, this magnificent creation was a new game he could share with his dear friend. He lunged forward as if eager to show all his love. But at that moment, the world stopped. The tower's collapse wasn't just blocks scattering to the ground. It was the sound of Emma's heart breaking. The sparkle in the little girl's eyes faded, replaced by tears filled with deep sorrow. "Max, you're a bad dog. You destroyed my dream." These words pierced Max's little heart like arrows. His world suddenly went dark. He had never heard his favorite voice filled with such pain. His ears curled up so tightly, it was as if he was trying to hide from the whole world. His tail drooped so sadly, it was as if his spirit had fallen to the ground with it. As Emma turned her back and left the room, Max's world fell silent. Only scattered blocks remained, and a broken heart. Minutes passed like hours. Max sat in the coldness of loneliness, thinking. There was only one thought in his little head. "I hurt my most precious thing. How can I make it up to her?" He got up and walked slowly to Emma's room. Each step carried the weight of his regret. When he stood in front of the door, his heart was beating so fast it felt like it would burst out of his chest. Emma sat on the edge of her bed, wiping her eyes with her small hands. Max approached, holding his breath. First, he wagged his tail very slowly, very timidly, as if saying, "Please forgive me." Then he rested his head on Emma's lap, full of remorse. "I'm still mad at you, Max," Emma said, but the sharpness in her voice wasn't as intense as before. Max didn't give up. He lay down on the floor, rolled over onto his back, and looked at Emma with eyes that seemed to be filled with tears. This was his way of saying, "I'm sorry." But Emma's expression didn't change. Then Max decided to play his last card. He ran to the toy basket and grabbed Emma's most precious treasure, her stuffed bear, with his teeth. This bear was Emma's closest friend, accompanying her at night, overcoming her fears, listening to her dreams. Max placed this precious gift at Emma's feet, then backed away. This gesture melted the ice in Emma's heart. She understood that Max had given her his most precious possession. This time her tears flowed with love and regret. "Max, you're really sorry, aren't you?" The sparkle in Max's eyes was the answer. Emma bent down and took him in her arms, her little heart beginning to beat in time with Max's. "I forgive you, Max. You are my best friend, a part of my heart." At that moment the house was filled with joy again, but this time it was different. Because this joy was the joy of peace, understanding, and a deeper love. The rest of the day they built the tower together. This time, Max watched each block carefully, gently replacing any that fell. The creation they made together was not just a toy tower, but a symbol of the rebirth of their friendship. As evening fell, Emma lay down on her bed and Max curled up at her feet. The little girl whispered one last time, "Max, today I learned that true friendship isn't just about sharing good times. It's also about forgiving each other's mistakes and loving each other unconditionally." Max wagged his tail one last time, his eyes filled with endless gratitude. And they both knew that this little crisis had strengthened their bond even more. The house was filled not only with peace this time, but also with deep love and understanding. Because that's how true friendship is born, through small fractures and great forgiveness.